సో వచ్చిందా?
1 second, sir.
మొబైల్లో చెక్ చేయొచ్చా సార్ నేను?
అదే సార్, మీకు లింక్ పంపిస్తున్నా.
ఓకే ఓకే. ఇప్పుడు ఏది కొట్టాలి సార్? జేఎల్ఎస్ అది కొట్టాలనా? క్లిక్ చేయనా ఇది?
అది ఒకసారి లింక్ ఓపెన్ చేయండి సార్, మీరు కనిపిస్తారు చూడండి, లైవ్ ఉంది. ఇప్పుడు మీరు స్టార్ట్ చేసేయచ్చు సార్.
ఇది క్రోమ్ యూట్యూబ్ నుంచి కదా సార్?
ఎస్ సార్.
జస్ట్ మినిట్ సార్. మరి ఎండ్ ఎట్లా చేయాలి సార్? నేను లాస్ట్లో స్టాప్ షేరింగా?
జస్ట్ ఎండ్ చేసేయండి సార్, మీటింగ్ల నుంచి బయటకు వెళ్ళిపోండి అంతే.
ఓకే సార్, నేను స్టార్ట్ చేస్తున్నా.
మీరు స్టార్ట్ చేయొచ్చు సార్ ఇప్పుడు.
Hello everyone, welcome to Advanced Knowledge System and a warm welcome to AKS IAS Academy. And AKS IAS Academy is one of the premier institutions in India, and it offers examination coaching for CSC, State Public Service Commission, SSC Combined Graduate Level, and CLAT examinations. So do visit AKS IAS Academy and also the website of AKS IAS Academy. And about me, I am Sandeep Bhushan Tumala, and my credentials are: I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services. I take up international relations and internal security and the analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And this session will certainly help you because throughout my session, I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases. And these keywords and the key phrases, we can identify the factual, analytical, and conceptual questions for the prelims examinations. And while you imbibe the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing, you can certainly score higher marks because your answers would be precise and concise. So this session will certainly help you to score more marks for the mains 2020 as well as prelims and mains 2021. So do follow the entire session of AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis and be benefited by the session. And this is in regards to the daily newspaper analysis of the Hindu of today's, that is 5th of December 2020. And before we get into the DNA of the newspaper, the Hindu, we will look at the quote of the day. And the quote of the day is: every next level of your life will demand a different version of you. So what is very important that we need to focus here is, every time we would be encountering with a different perspective, which would be having a different scenarios in the life. So definitely there are demands which are coming up in a different versions, and we need to be ready with that. And before I get into the topic, I would say very good morning to all the civil servant aspirants who are in the live with the Zoom for the AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis. Now I'll get into the DNA of the newspaper. And when you focus at the DNA of the newspaper, definitely this is the one which we need to look at, is that our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he has gone ahead with the video conferencing with all the political parties, the floor leaders of the 19 political parties, and he has made it very clear that the vaccine may be ready in a few weeks. So the importance of coming up with a new vaccine is very, very crucial at this juncture to make sure that the SARS-CoV-2 virus is making it vulnerable to the human beings, and we need to cut the spread of the virus. So definitely he has made it very clear that the vaccine is ready and it will be rolled out in the next few weeks. And he has also mentioned it that the scientists have given a green signal for the vaccine so that it could be into the mode of disbursing or distribution will certainly start in couple of weeks from now onwards. And Mr. Modi has also said that the government of India or the central government has come up with setting up of a national experts group of scientists. Along with that, there is a central and state government officials who are in tandem coordinating and working so that they would be mapping the vaccination program. So here the concept is, or the keyword is, vaccination program. And for the vaccination program, that is the distribution and the dispersal of the COVID-19 vaccine, which will be rolled out in a couple of weeks from now onwards, the government has set up the national experts group of scientists and the central and state government officials so that they can come up with the vaccination program. And this will certainly be an added advantage for India, because India is certainly at a large and experienced vaccination network, wherein we have faced, or we are going through that, a very big network which is large and experienced vaccination network. And definitely India has had the universal immunization program. So certainly the keywords what we need to focus here is the vaccination network and the universal immunization program, which you need to take it into consideration that while you are writing or while you are preparing this short note for the mains examination, you can imbibe or inculcate these keywords, which will certainly be an precise answers for you. And also we have come up with the national experts group of scientists along with the central and state government officials. And certainly in India, the cold chain and the logistics will be boosted certainly, because we have that kind of immunization program in India, which is at a large and experienced one. And once the vaccine comes into action for the disbursement and the distribution of the vaccine, first and foremost, the frontline health workers with the one who are with the comorbidities would be having the chance of administering the vaccine. And Prime Minister has also spoken about the pricing, and he said that the pricing for the COVID-19 vaccine would be taken into consideration of the imperatives of the public health, and definitely it will be consulted with the various state governments to decide about the price of the COVID-19 vaccine. And our Prime Minister has also made it very clear that certainly there are 8 vaccine candidates which have been manufactured in India, and there are 3 which are being manufactured in India which are developed indigenously. So this is very important, because along with or in consultation with various governments or various universities across the world, we have gone into the manufacturing in India with the 8 vaccine candidates. But indigenously within India, we have developed 8. Out of 8, it is the 3 vaccines which are developed. And certainly India has experience in dealing with coronavirus, certainly. But if you look at our health infrastructure, when we compare India's health infrastructure with the various developed countries, we are not to that extent. That is, we are not as equal or as par with the developed countries' health infrastructure. But still, India's, that is our country's determination and the adoption of the scientific approach in dealing with the COVID-19 or the SARS-CoV-2 virus has certainly shown a positive signal, and therefore definitely India will be benefited, because the price which has been manufactured the vaccine indigenously within India is certainly would be at a low pricing, which will be very very crucial that in India as a developing country, we need to make sure that most of the population in the rural India, along with the health workers, should be provided or administered the COVID-19 vaccines. So therefore, India has the determination and the adoption of the scientific approach in regards to the dealing of the diseases, even though we do not have the very strong health infrastructure in India. So this is the positiveness or the greatness or the advantage of India's experience in dealing with the coronavirus. And now we will get into the another news wherein the Supreme Court has asked the central government why, or it has condemned the kind of action taken by the center, even though there was a presidential mercy which has been accepted, but still the person has not been released from the jail, that is gallows. So Rajauna to escape from gallows, that is from the jail, but the government is mum, that is silent on his plea or the presidential mercy petition plea. So here it is the mercy petition plea which has been pleaded n number of time by Rajauna, which wherein he has been given the presidential mercy in regards to that he be released, that he should not be hanged. And now in regards to this, the Supreme Court was livid. So what do you mean by livid? Livid means it was furious or angry. That means the Supreme Court was furious or angry on to the center, wherein there was a presidential mercy petition which was hanging, which was unfinished or void, despite, here this is the point here, despite having been decided over a year, that is in the 2019 itself, it was decided that he is be spared from his life. That means he will not be hanged. It was decided last year, but still he was still behind the gallows, that is in the jail. And that the Chief Justice of India, Sharath A. Bobde, has discovered that the Home Ministry has declared to resolve a commute or resolve to commute. Commute means so that a person who is being sentenced, wherein his sentence will be less severe, it will be reduced to a less severe one. So definitely Home Ministry has declared its resolve to commute Rajauna, who was actually onto the person who should be hanged to death, but because of the presidential mercy which was certainly being declared by the Home Ministry, that the death penalty of Balwant Singh Rajana, which was found guilty, he was found guilty in the murder case of former Punjab Chief Minister Bent Singh in September 2019. But later on, the Home Ministry has resolved to commute. That means lessen is sentence. And this decision was taken in the commemoration of 550th birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev Ji in the year 2019. So the Home Ministry has certainly taken an initiative and it has declared to resolve to commute, to lessen the sentence of the death penalty of Balwant Singh Rajouri, who is found guilty in regards to the murder of the former Punjab Chief Minister. And certainly now this entire petition has come up in the Supreme Court, and the Chief Justice of India, Sharath Bobde, has discovered the decision or the resolution which was passed by the Home Minister, and which was, the Supreme Court was furious against the center because Rajona has filed petition in the Supreme Court, that while he was in the jail, he has gone ahead with repeated pleas to the government about the mercy pleas. So he has gone ahead with the mercy petition pleas n number of times, but there was no answer from the government, and he has filed the mercy petition in the year 2012. And in response to this, the additional Solicitor General K.M. Natraj has explained to the Supreme Court that Bent Singh Rajauna's plea for mercy was kept in abeyance. That means it was kept in kind of void or in cold storage. The explanation given by the additional Solicitor General is that the appeals which were filed by his fellow co-accused or fellow accused were pending in the Supreme Court. Please do understand here logic. The additional Solicitor General of India, that is K.M. Natarajan, on behalf of the Government of India, has explained to the Supreme Court saying that the mercy petition by Rajonas, that is plea of mercy petition, was kept in abeyance or in void or in null and void because There were various appeals which were filed by his fellow accused, because there were appeals which were pending by the fellow accused in the Supreme Court. That is why the additional solicitor general says that the decision was pending in regards to the mercy petition filed by the Ben Singh Rajauna. So, but the response by the Supreme Court, that is the Chief Justice of India, has questioned or asked the government, saying that, but if the decision has been already made in regards to commuting is death penalty on the occasion of the Guru Nanak Jayanti, so why is the center still waiting for the decision which was made, appeals, the petition appeals made by the co-accused? And the Supreme Court says that as per Article 72, that is the presidential pardon in the Constitution, enshrined in the Constitution of India, the court says that the law is settled. How is the law settled? Because the president has gone ahead with the presidential pardon, and the home ministry has gone ahead with making it very clear that his the commute has been taken into consideration. So once the president, Article 72, and the home ministry has gone ahead with the order to commute the mercy petition, that is the death penalty, to commute, so definitely now this court is saying that the law is settled. So when the law is settled, the government has to be decided to recommend a presidential pardon, and then the pendency of appeals of the co-accused cannot delay the process of the mercy petition, that is the death penalty or the presidential pardon as per Article 72. So definitely this is very, very crucial information for the prelims perspective, because the keywords what you need to focus here is Article 72, that is the presidential powers to pardon for prelims point of view, and the mercy plea or the mercy petition, and definitely the one which is still we need to focus is in regards to the commute. These are the keywords, commute. And then here the one which is the Supreme Court is also looking at is presidential mercy. These are the keywords which you need to focus from polity perspective, which will be very, very useful for the prelims as well as mains UPSC perspective. And there is another news which talks about RBI holds rates. So definitely now the RBI, that is the Monetary Policy Committee, that is MPC of the RBI, has left or it has kept unchanged in regards to the interest rates. So the interest rates have been unchanged. It has not been, what do you say, changed, and it has been retained. So one is unchanged and it has been retained. Why it has been retained? Because it has been retained so that the accommodative stance in regards to the prioritizing support for the economy. Definitely the interest rates have been fixed, have been unchanged. It has not been touched because they know very well the inflation is sticky. That means the inflation is rising high. That is why the interest rates by the MPC, that is the Monetary Policy Committee of the Reserve Bank of India, is unchanged, or it does not, or it did not really change it. And in regards to the RBI's lending rate, that is the repo rate, is now fixed at 4%. So the keyword what we need to focus for the prelims perspective is the repo rate and reverse repo rate. So what is repo rate? It is the rate at which the apex bank, that is the RBI, lends money to the nationalized banks. So reverse repo rate is the rate at which the RBI again takes back the money from, or sucks the money or the liquidity from the nationalized bank. So the keywords here for you is the repo rate and the reverse repo rate. And here the RBI's lending rate, that is the RBI which lends the interest rates which the apex banks lends to the nationalized banks, is unchanged and it is steady at 4%. Sorry. And Definitely from March 2019, and if we focus even in February 2019 itself, since then, the repo rates have been slashed by 115 basis point. That is 1.15 percentage. That is 1.515 percentage. It has been slashed, and definitely now RBI, when it has kept the repo rate unchanged at 4 percentage because of the inflation which is at a sticky note or sticky platform. So definitely the RBI is focusing on the inflation, and thereby it has kept the repo rate unchanged. And the other one is RBI is looking at the economy to be brightened, and it is projecting the GDP of the country which is at minus 7.5. That means it would be now at minus 7.5. Fine. Wherein, if you look at in the month of October, it was minus 9.5. So definitely there is a brighter outlook in regards to the GDP of the country, which was in October 2020, it was minus 9.5 percentage, but now it has narrowed down to minus 7.5 percentage. So RBI is certainly looking at the growth rate, and then it is linking to the inflation and the interest rates. So what are the keywords here we need to focus, you as a civil servant aspirants, is the interest rates, that is repo rate, and the GDP, and then the GDP also. So certainly the GDP is to be focused along with the interest rates and the inflation. So these are the three keywords which you need to focus in regards to the growth and the inflation and the repo rates. And definitely RBI is projecting that it would return back to 0.1 percentage in quarter 3 and 0.7 percentage in quarter 4. So certainly in the next 2 quarters from now onwards, that is quarter 3 and quarter 4 of 2020 and 2021 fiscal year, the RBI is projecting the growth to be returning in a positive trend to 1.1 percentage in quarter 3 and 0.7 percentage in quarter 4. And definitely now to the government, that is to the RBI and to the Monetary Policy Committee, what is the concern is certainly inflation. What is a concern to the policy makers is the inflation. So what kind of pressure is now is the cost push pressure, and this cost push pressure is continuingly trying to impinge on the core inflation. So it is the cost push pressure which is making it very clear that it is targeting or it is impinging on the core inflation. So here another keyword is the cost push inflation. So again, I've given this additional information that it could be very, very useful information for economy UPSC perspective for prelims point of view. So we need to understand the definition of cost push inflation, how it is impinging the core inflation in India, thereby concentrating on the sticky inflation, which wherein the entire, I mean, the India is experienced it, so that the MPC has not, or it has kept the interest rate unchanged. So here it is the inflation, it is certainly the interest rates, and then it is in regards to the growth of the nation. And when we are looking at inflation, it is the cost push inflation, which is now a concern for the inflation to be reduced or to reduce the inflation. So what is cost push inflation? It means this occurs, cost push inflation occurs when overall prices, that is the inflation, due to increase in cost of wages. So whenever there is, the prices are increasing, whenever a price of a particular or X commodity or X product is increasing because of the cost of the wages and the raw materials. Please do understand here, in the cost push inflation, in that the prices of the X product increases, it rises because because when the cost of the wages and the raw material increases, since when there is no demand for goods, when there is no demand for goods, but still there is a demand, when there is a cost of the wages and the raw material increases, thereby the prices increases, where the prices increases at the production level. At the production level the price increases because the cost of the wages and the cost of the raw material is increased. It is not because of the demand of the goods, it is because of the cost of the wages, cost of the raw material, the prices have increased, and these prices increases from the production. And once the production the prices increases, then that increase of price because of the cost of wages and the raw material at the production level is passed on to the consumers, and that kind of price of increase is called as cost push increase. But it is not because of the demand for goods. Please do understand, this is a certainly a prelims definition, I mean prospective definition in regards to the economy point of view. Cost push inflation is because of the prices increase, or the prices increases because of the cost of the wages and the raw material increases, and because of that at the production levels the price of the product increases, and that price is now later on passed on to the customers or the consumers, thereby the prices of the X product increases because of the cost of the wages and the raw materials, but not because of the demand for goods. So this is very crucial information, and if you focus this from February 2019 to almost now also, that is December 2020, it has fallen from 6.25 to 4.40. That is the reverse repo rate. This is repo rate from 4.40. Now we have 4. So the blue line is the reverse repo. So reverse repo at 4% now, and also the repo rate, that is the red indication, is also at the 4%. So certainly now the repo rates and reverse repo rate are the keywords, along with the inflation, along with the growth, that is the GDP, and the cost pushed inflation are the keywords which you need to certainly focus, that this will be a perspective questions in the prelims, as well as while you imbibe these keywords in the mains, your answers would be very impressive. And there is another news which talks about the China turns on artificial sun. So this is very important again in regards to the technology, science and technology. Why internationally science and technology, China has successfully powered, or it has come up with the artificial sun. So this is the keyword. So what is this artificial sun? It is a nuclear fusion reactor. This is a keyword. So the Chinese artificial sun is the nuclear fusion reactor, and it has powered it for the first time, and it makes a great advance in the, what do you say, countries, that is China's nuclear power research capabilities. Because of the nuclear fusion reactor, that is the artificial sun, China has made a great advance in the countries, that is China's nuclear power research capabilities. This is a keyword, nuclear power research capability. It has got into the greater advance because of the HL2M tokamak reactor, that is the nuclear fusion reactor, and this is China's largest and most advanced nuclear fusion experiment research device. So certainly this is a nuclear fusion experimental research device which is called as HL2M tokamak reactor. So again the keyword here is the name of the reactor, and definitely the Chinese scientists are hoping that this device will certainly unlock a powerful energy or clean energy source. So certainly once this nuclear fusion reactor, that is HL2M tokamak reactor, will get into the mode of absorbing through the or acting as an artificial sun, it will be a potential of getting into the mode of clean energy source. Again, here we are focusing in regards to the science and technology and also in regards to the environment. So do focus from this both the perspective, two different topics you need to link, and how it will be really useful. And certainly once it is, that is the artificial sun HL2M tokamak reactor, which is nuclear fusion reactor, will definitely be a potential for a powerful clean energy source in China. And this reactor uses a powerful magnetic field. And what does this magnetic field does? That is, the magnetic field will fuse the hot plasma, and it can reach very high temperature around 150 million degrees Celsius, wherein that 150 million degrees Celsius, wherein the temperature can reach when the magnetic field is fusing with the plasma. Please do understand here technicality of the HL2M tokamak reactor we are discussing. So here the magnetic field, powerful magnetic field, fuses with the hot plasma, and it reaches at a temperature which is 150 million degrees Celsius, and that 150 million degree Celsius temperature is approximately 10 times hotter than the core of the sun. So this entire explanation will certainly be useful for you for the factual or the kind of analysis we are talking about, the chemical, I mean the chemical, the fusion reaction which takes place in the nuclear fusion reactor, that is HL2M tokamak reactor. So magnetic field and fusing with the plasma, hot plasma. This is the technicality of. And if you look at this, this is located in Xinjiang province, and it has completed last year, and it has turned on by the Chinese, and it is called as artificial sun, which wherein it will have, I mean, it will get into the producing of enormous heat and power, and thereby it could be a potential clean energy source, that is HL2M tokamak reactor. And scientists, that is Chinese scientists, are working on developing a smaller version. Now they are trying to get into the mode of working on a smaller version of nuclear fusion reactor since 2006. And if you look at this, so here you have the magnetic field, all the magnetic field coils are there, and these magnetic field coils will definitely fuse with the plasma current, will certainly fuse with the plasma current. And once it fuses with the plasma current, it will reach at a very high temperature of 150 million degrees Celsius. So this is how it takes place. So these are the magnetic field coils. So this one, and this is the coil current which passes the current. And if you look at the inner one, this is called as inner poloidal magnetic field coil, and the outer one is toroidal magnetic field. So you have the poloidal and toroidal magnetic field, and also you have the twisted magnetic field here in this. So it gets into that. So this one, twisted one. So it gets into this mode, and then wherein the magnetic field, that is the powerful magnetic field, fuses with the hot plasma. So this is a plasma current, and this is the plasma here, and you have a vacuum vessel. And if you look at this, is the 3D of it, and the nuclear fusion reactor is this one, which Chinese have come up with this, and it has turned on. So this is very crucial information for the prelims as well as mains perspective for science and technology, and also for the environment, wherein this will be a potential for the clean energy source. And definitely there is another news which talks about NHRC, that is National Human Rights Commission, has directed the district collector of Odisha's Nuapada district. Why? Because it wanted the district collector to submit a comprehensive report on what? On the safe drinking water, on the safe drinking water, because the Nuapada district of Odisha is affected, the people are affected by fluorosis. So here the keyword is fluorosis and safe drinking water, and the NHRC, that is National Human Rights Commission, is the one. So definitely here a human rights lawyer has moved, or he has approached the NHRC in raising the issue, that is in regards to the consumption of fluoride contaminated water in Nuapada district of Odisha. So certainly this is a cause of concern for the growth of the children's, or the kind of adverse effect onto the consumption of fluoride contaminated water in Nuapada district of Odisha. And the human rights lawyer who has approached the commission has argued that the drinking the fluoride laced water, which is the contaminated fluoride water, is not just creating health problems, but it also affects the socio-economic life of people. So here, what is the keyword, what you need to focus for mains perspective is that how the contaminated fluoride water, or the fluoride laced water in the Nuapada district is or will affect the socio-economic life of people. So it is not just affecting the health of the individuals who consume the fluoride contaminated water, but we need to focus even in regards to the that as said by the or argued by the human rights lawyer is that it will affect the socio-economic life of the individual or the people also. So socio-economic is the keyword here. And Nupada is one of the worst fluoride affected district in the state, and definitely by consuming the fluoride affected water or contaminated water, the adults suffer skeleton fluorosis. This is again very important keyword. And children's have mottled teeth. What do you mean by mottled? Mottled means it is marked with shapes of different colors without any regular pattern, or it is of having a shapes of different color with irregular teeth pattern. So that is called as mottled teeth. And if you look at here, the keywords what we need to focus, that the effect of consuming the contaminated water is in the adults, it would suffer, or they would suffer with the skeleton fluorosis. So you can see here the skeleton fluorosis in the adults, and in regards to the children you have this mottled teeth. This is the one, so wherein you have shapes of different colors without a regular pattern. So this is the adverse effect onto the health problems, not only onto the health problems, but as per the human rights lawyer, even it affects the socio-economic life of the people. And these diseases are incurable once it gets into the mode of aggravating, and fluorosis affected people cannot do any physical labor of work. That is why, as they cannot go ahead with doing any physical labor work, it affects the socio-economic life of the individuals who are being affected by the fluorosis. That is why the human rights lawyer has emphasized on not only the health problems, but the other point of it, he has said that it would affect the socio-economic life of people, because the one affected by the fluorosis cannot do or cannot go ahead with any kind of physical labor. And the NHRC has requested the director of ICMR and the director general of CSIR, that is the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, to submit a report that how best the NHRC along with the district officials can deal with the fluoride contamination within 15 weeks. So NHRC is certainly getting into the mode of approaching the Director General of ICMR, that is Indian Council of Medical Research, and also the Director General of Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, so that how best they can come up with the various measures to handle the or to deal the fluoride contaminations. And there are three types of fluorosis, that is dental fluorosis, skeleton fluorosis, and then non-skeleton fluorosis. And this is again in regards to the health perspective, that is health point of view, how fluorosis will affect the health of the individual or also the socio-economic condition. And I would say a warm welcome to everyone. Bharat Raj, Harika, Diswarna, Madhu, Gauri Naidu, all of you warm welcome. And now I would say that we would recapitulate the DNA at AKS IAS Academy. We have looked at this because Prime Minister Modi has emphasized on the universal immunization system or the program in India, which is we have a very good system network in place. That is immunization network in place. So these are the keywords which you need to focus: how the disbursement and the distribution of the vaccine would take place. And this is in regards to the Article 72. Again, for prelims perspective, the powers of president or president pardon powers. And this is we have looked at in regards to the repo rates, that is focusing on the economy perspective. And this is international, that is in regards to the science and technology with the artificial sun which the China has come up, that is in regards to the nuclear fusion reactor HL2M Tokamak reaction, and also in regards to the environment, because this might be a potential for the clean energy source. And again, we have looked at NHRC. We were focusing on the fluorosis, which is also very important, that it would affect the health of the individuals or also and also the socio-economic condition also. So I hope this session was certainly an informative, knowledgeable session. And I would say a very big thank you to all and a good luck to you all. And then do maintain consistency, stick to your schedule, and take care of your physical health and mental health. And then do like the video, share the video, and subscribe the AKS IAS Academy English Medium channel. And do visit the website and also subscribe the Telegram link of AKS IAS Academy, that is Advanced Knowledge System. And I would say that I would see you again at 7:30 a.m. for the daily news analysis on Monday. So thank you very much. Sir, అయిపోయిందా సార్?